What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hustle Bunny. I'm your host, Miss August Sky.
Woo! And I am her co-host, Carmen.
Carmen San Diego.
Yes,
I will
Carmen,
always say
wherever
that.
you go, I'll go.
Right. So what's up, best friend? How are you?
Oh, just doing the same thing. It's kind of funny because I feel like we see each other, but when we don't see each other for more than like 48 hours, it's too long.
It is too long. I get sad. I'll legitimately be like laying in my bed. I'm like, damn, like, why am I sad?
Where is she?
Yeah, and you don't have any social media, so it's like, which I like commend you for. If I wasn't doing what I was doing, I would have no social media. I'd be like off the grid.
Well, no, I do the same thing because, as you know, I haven't been working this week very much, just kind of taking care of some other things. And I'm just like, I'm not in the best mood. Why am I not laughing as much? And I realized because I haven't been with my baby.
And then we get together and it's just like explosive.
And we get together, then we just start drinking the Douce.
Yes, we got the little Douce today. Mind you, we're tequila girls. We'll always remind you that we're tequila girls, but we got the Douce today.
I mean, you can't pass it down.
I think we're just always going to be who we are at heart. We know who we are at the core, but
absolutely.
It's always nice to be back. I've actually had a crazy week myself, but to kind of get into things, I was actually had a female listener, I guess you would say, reached out to me, messaged me, and actually had questions about becoming a sugar baby and what to kind of look for, or like how to even get started.
Kind of just the whole runaround about how to not only get started, what to look for, how to be approached, how to approach the whole situation, which, I think there's a lot of misinformation out there.
Right.
And I guess the biggest thing, in my opinion, would have to be you have to know your boundaries and what you're kind of willing to do to get whatever it is that you're wanting to get. Because at the end of the day, I'm not saying you can't have love, because you absolutely can if that's a thing.
Right.
But, usually when we're classifying as that and having that title, there has to be some kind of transaction one way or another, not completely meaning sexual, that being one thing possibly.
Right.
But there's, there is the give and the take. So I think, there's a couple different things that you have to definitely even think about before you even start looking.
No, that's 100% true. What's crazy is, so my partner said he went to go hang out at this place called the Gypsy House Cafe, which is like a local coffee shop. He said he was hanging out with some friends. And this girl, I won't say any names, but they've known each other for a long time. And the conversation got heated, not with him and the girl, but like with the group of guys, because she said she didn't respect like sex workers, sugar babies, and that thing. And the guy goes, well, like, what's your price? She goes, I don't have a price. And he goes, no, like every girl has a price, whether it's you want to go to a fancy dinner, do you want to go to the movies? Like, what's your price? And I guess like she'd never seen it from that perspective, and she got really offended. Right. So with that being said, I think, so I was a sugar baby. So the first thing I ever tried before I got into this industry was being a sugar baby.
Right.
And I was living with a Russian girl. Shout outs to Olga. She was in college. She went to Clemson. We met when I was like waiting, bartending at the Marriott.
Nice.
And we moved in together, and she was like, yeah, like I was on Singing Arrangements, right? That's the number one website.
That's the go-to
for girls to get started. Like if you don't know anything, I knew nothing about it. So I created a profile, did the whole thing, and you kind of learn quickly for what you need to do. Because the name of the game is like knowing what you want. Now, if you just want like a Louis Vuitton bag, yeah, that's one thing, but your bills have to be paid before you get the Louis. I feel like when you're getting started and you see luxury and not like necessity. Yeah. And I think that's always going to be the biggest thing, is necessity. So like I said, I got started on Seeking Arrangements, but after that, like I kind of got a taste of it, and then I got lucky, and there was a night that I was working in the club, and I actually had built up a relationship, a good like in club relationship, with a client there in North Carolina. And we decided, I was like, okay, then we could go out to dinner, and then we just kind of initiated things there, and like, okay, be like a sugar baby relationship. And plus, I feel like he already knew how it worked.
Right.
And that's like the biggest thing is like you always want like a guy who knows how it works. He was older, you know, he's like mid 60s, you know.
He's not new to this.
No, he's not new to this.
He knows what's going on.
Yeah, he'd be like, you know what? He even told me, and like this is gonna sound like fraudulent, but no, he'd be like, I have erectile dysfunction. Like this doesn't do anything for me anymore. You know, that was like the perfect situation. Like your situation is always going to be like that. And I will say, like, I've had to give just as much as I get because that's a part of the relationship. Yeah. But I didn't. I think there's like a lot of guys out there that probably still think I'm on my period because I've lied so much. They're all down. You're looking real good today. I'm all, oh my God. It's
so sick. Food poisoning, period. I'm in the hospital right now as I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I'm all down. They're like, didn't I just pull up next to you in the
I
car?
passed away last night. I'm just letting you know.
But I'll be at our dinner reservations at Nobu tomorrow at 6.
Yes, but I'm not missing that. But no, it's funny because I think that we're able to kind of joke about it. And I think that we're always really lighthearted about these kinds of things because we are two people that always we're always looking towards our future. So, for example, with the sugar daddies or the sugar dates that I've been on, my number one priority is like what you said, getting my bills paid. That was my priority. Everything else, like the gifts, that just comes, you know what I mean? But when you're having somebody paying your bills, then I believe you're having like a true relationship with somebody, that somebody's not just going to pay your car, your rent. We're talking about thousands of dollars a month without having any kind of contact of sorts, whether it's talking every day, whether it's going to dinner, whether it's more than that. But, I think that's another good question that you should ask yourself. What are you doing it for?
Right. Because so think about this. If, like you said, if you're getting your bills paid, now you still have your own source of income, like let's say you are still working, right? Or let's say like you get an allowance on top of what they're paying for initially, right? So they're paying for your bills and they give you an allowance. Okay, you can use that however you want to, but if you're still working, or even like the allowance, like what are you trying to do? Like, are you trying to invest? Are you trying to save? Are you trying to go to school? Are you trying to start a business? Like, you have to have an end goal or you're always going to be chasing the bag.
And that's the thing. And there's nothing wrong with hustling, but literally take it from us. When you have had to redo these relationships multiple times over, we're pretty much the best kind of person, the best people to ask because we've done it multiple times, because sometimes you do get lost in the sauce. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's exciting.
You're traveling, you're doing, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't enjoy those things. You should. You absolutely should. But the thing is that with relationships comes trust. And with trust, you need to trust these people before you let them into your lives as well. It's not just all about them paying your bills. You don't know these people. You don't know their true intentions. And that's for everybody, but it's still, you have to be very careful because that's the biggest thing of it. Not just trying to, get your bag and not just trying to go on lavish trips or, do these kinds of things, but you have to be careful. Just like anything that you do in the sex industry. Yeah. You have to be safe.
Very safe. And like always, because the biggest thing that I feel like a lot of these men are paying for, and like you have to be comfortable with yourself and like your boundaries and kind of like your morals, right? Because like a lot of these guys are older, they're married, or they're high end, maybe like a judge or like a lawyer or something. They're paying for like discretion, so they have to trust you just as much as you have to trust them, right? And that's like a real thing. And it's like if you're not okay with the idea of being with a person that is married, that's okay. But also, like, you have to realize, like, that's the name of the game. So you also have to, like, be okay within yourself to understand what you're providing. And you do have to get, like, you are in a relationship with these people.
Right.
And it might not be a traditional relationship, you know, and that there have been girls who got married to their sugar daddies.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
look at Anna Nicole Smith. I mean,
oh, she's been doing it.
You know,
but she's still from the grave and she's still doing it.
No, seriously, she you know, like kind of was the carbon copy. You know
yeah,
what
exactly.
I mean?
For us, we're like, what? We're 90s girls. We're 90s girls. We're 90s babies.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed. We look
I'm
fucking
not ashamed.
good.
Oh, yeah.
Drinking our Douce, but like, when you see...
We're old enough too, okay?
Right. Like when you see girls like Anna Nicole, and like now we have girls like the Claremont twins who are just like, I feel like there is a little bit more of an open door,
right.
But also there's a lot of work that goes behind it. It's not as easy as just like, fuck you, pay me.
Right.
Like I actually, one of my best sugar daddies on top of the one that I met at the club, I actually met him on Seeking Arrangements, and he was into the Bitcoin industry before anybody else was.
Oh, yeah.
But then he also had like an IT company, but he had a form. I don't know what it was. I feel like he had like Asperger's or, you know, when there's like something that doesn't click, that's all the way, like you're just like, okay, something doesn't click.
Right, right.
And when I was like, he like wanted me to give up my life and come move in with him, and he wanted to like put his name on all my shit. I never let somebody put their name on my bills.
That's another big thing. And that's because that's when they start to run your life. That's when they, you know, can hold things over your head. That's when it can potentially get dangerous, potentially get scary.
Right.
And, you know, I think a good point, like what you said about like the Claremont twins, I think a lot of people get confused on social media when they see these girls that, you know, have everything that they want, and you know kind of the deal. And some of them are public about it, some of them aren't, but they are only showing you the good side, because let me tell you, for that good side, there's gonna be more, I don't want to say bad, but difficult. It is mentally draining. You think about who you are as a person a lot in situations like that, because you are putting yourself in a situation that a lot of people would not accept. So you kind of start thinking of yourself as one of those people that, are the people right what they say about me?
Right.
You know, and of course you can keep it a secret, or you don't have to, you know, but the thing is that it's your battle to fight within your mentee, and that's gonna be the number one thing overall. You can find a sugar daddy, you can go on these websites, you can become a dancer, you can do all these things, but at the end of the day, you got to have your head straight towards not a specific goal, but a goal in mind, which I would hope is to be successful and to live your dream.
Right. And not have to go back to like work. Maybe if you, okay, like there's people who do want to work. Like there's people who do want to be doctors and lawyers and nurses, and like you want to be in the IT. So yes, you do have to like initially work, but yeah, you want to be in a job setting to where you're going to be making more.
Right.
Right. You're trying to set yourself up for like for a prosperous future. Right.
Exactly. That should be, if anything, a sugar daddy, unless of course, you guys have a great relationship and you guys end up really like being with each other, then that's awesome too. But let it be a stepping stone. Let it almost be like college. You should be learning from this person too.
Absolutely. Pick their brain. Like that's always my biggest thing, is like I always pick these guys' brain. Cause you're definitely getting paid for your looks, your time, your youth, your whatever it is that you're bringing to the table. Cause obviously like the number one thing is going to be the physical attraction. Right. But like these men are filled up with so much information.
Oh yeah.
Cause you're talking to like, you know, a very high was like the top 1% of the population in America that has this kind of income. So pick their brain, like make them feel special. Like just don't go on a date and roll your eyes and just want to like act like, you know, like you're like, they know that they're paying for your time. Right. They get that. And I know like a lot of girls, like my previous roommate who actually got me into this was like, she would go basically just like on dates, like quick. And I was like, dang, like, why did she go through so many guys so quickly? And it's because like there was nothing there. There was no substance. And it almost came off as like a little desperate as far as like, I'm broke.
She just needed the money to pay like the one bill.
Right. And she would wait to the very last minute. So it's like the first of the month, and I would see her calling and texting these guys and being like, oh, like she would send them these like textbook messages. I'm like, okay, these men are busy.
Right.
They're married. They have their own life as well too. And you're waiting to the very last minute when their accountants and stuff are looking at their bank statements and their bills, and they're looking at their books, and now you want to ask.
These are smart people.
You know, they know. They're very smart.
There's a reason why they're, you know, very wealthy. There's
they
a
might
reason
be dumb,
why.
but they're smart.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly right. And I think that's the biggest point is that if you're desperate for money, you'll do desperate things. And I don't think being a sugar baby is where you should start in that venture. You know, everybody, when you want something bad enough, you got to work hard for it, and anything that comes easy goes easy.
Right. And learn your finesse. You got to learn your personality. Like, what is it? Because no matter what, like, yes, you do give these guys a version of yourself, just like the same thing, like when you're at the work, let's say you're at the strip club or just waiting tables, like you always give the world a version of yourself, but your personality is going to be catered to the man that you're with.
Right.
Right. And like, what are you going to do? I mean, are you going to be, most of the time they want something that's going to be lighthearted, friendly, takes the ease off. So you're just like an open book, like you're like their journal. Sometimes, like I said, like Jason, the one who wanted me to fucking take over my life or whatever, he started to get so petty because I wouldn't like submit to him as far as just like, I was like, you are overstepping like my boundaries, like that I didn't know existed until I knew existed,
right,
where I was uncomfortable with it. Then it got to the point where he started being like disrespectful, then they started to get moody and emotional, and then he's like, I remember, I'll never forget it, he was like blowing up my Cash App or PayPal at the time with like $5, $1, $2 to get my attention. He did that shit for like 3 hours. Like, they have nothing to lose, you know? So you have to like deal with that and like know how to handle it. Because like not all of them are really, I'm not trying to sit up here and say like all these guys are like sweet or whatever. Because some of them, like, the more money that they have, the crazier they are in some sort of aspect. Like, there's something mentally like not there.
The more money you have, the more problems you have. I mean, honestly, and I mean that in a mentality, because when you have all the money in the world, everything is at your fingertips. So that is why I think it's so important that you have to have your boundaries, because and even if your boundaries is no boundaries, state that, let people know, and don't change it. Don't change it just because you think you're in a position or anything like that. And if you go on a sugar daddy date, tell your best friend, even if you can't tell your mom, tell your best friend or tell your sister or tell somebody. Tell somebody where you're going, put your GPS on. And, you know, I know that sounds kind of scary by saying that, but you got to remember that you're with a stranger that wants to do strange things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or talk about
strange for a piece of change for anybody who's old enough to know that reference.
Right.
But, you know, I think with these men too, it's like, you do have to be like on a whim, because also keep in mind too, like, they're wealthy enough to if anything goes awry, it's going to work in their favor. Right. You know, so always keep that in mind too. Like, most times it'll go in their favor. They're going to look at you. They're going to say, this girl is like young. They got lawyers, you know, so it could go really sour really quickly. Right. And you just got to be very aware of that. Also, I wanted to mention, like, a really big thing with like the sugaring thing is set your prices and make that known. So when I first got started, it was just kind of like a crash course and I didn't really know what I was doing. But now it's like, hey, if you want to have, you know, when we meet up, it's going to be dinner for $500. We'll talk about like an allowance. We'll talk about like these things. Right. And because I feel like if you don't make that known, the guys are going to waste your time. Right. And you're not actually trying to date. And you might be like, if you're trying to actually date a guy that is wealthy. Yeah, that's one thing. That's what you want to do. Yeah. That's one thing. But if you're trying to like,
that's almost not even being a sugar baby at that point. You know what I mean? Not really.
The goal is like trophy wife.
Trophy wife, yeah.
You want the house and the pool boy and everything, you know?
The pool boy, yeah, for sure. He's coming with it. Yeah.
You know, whatever. But I think like you need to make that like an initial thing, but also it's like such a fine line, because you don't want to make it seem forced. You don't want to be like, listen, you don't want to come in, sit down.
You don't want to come in hot. Like, hey, bro.
Give me that motherfucking money.
Give me that money before we have the steak, you know?
I feel like people look at us and they would assume like that's how we are. But you know what? I almost feel like we have to be sweeter because we do have very dominant demeanors.
Yeah, I think people are thinking that we're just going to like check them right when we see them.
Headbutt them. Just come in, just fucking headbutt them.
Rob them or something. They're like, who are these two? What is happening? Give it. No, honestly, you know, and the thing is that don't let them like play you. If you say that it's 500 and you say it before the date, during the date, this is not the flea market. We're not haggling on price.
No, we're not bargaining. No.
This is not like pay less. Like,
right.
No,
we're not doing the after sale. Okay.
No.
The 50% off sale. No. Like, and that's another thing too. Like the people who are really, about it and understand it, they're not gonna haggle with you. The guys who are just kind of full of shit, they're gonna try and haggle with you. And it's like, well, don't you really just like me for me? And it's like, no, you were on this. I met you. You understood what this was. And not to say like you can't just have like a regular relationship with a man that happens to be wealthy. That is also like a very like high probability. I wouldn't say high probability, but it's still a high probability.
When
you know what I mean?
To be honest, when you're a beautiful girl in the right situations, and on top of it, you have you know, certain standards for yourselves, like you say you really love to golf, say you really love wine, say you really love partying. Surround yourself with people that you want to do these things with, and those type of people will come forth. But you got to be true about what your intentions are at the end of the day. But you know, instead, if you don't want to go like on a website, because I've gone on them. I haven't gone on any dates from them because a lot of them are trying to play you. Like they're trying to be like, oh yeah, you know, like let's hang out first and then blah blah blah.
See, we like each other,
right? No,
you know what the crazy thing with like the seeking arrangements and all these websites is. You do have to pay to play, right? So you can go on the basic. This is what I forgot to say. Like on the seeking arrangements, Ashley Madison, which no one fucks with anymore because remember they leaked everybody. They had that huge
my god,
scandal.
They leaked all the married dudes.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Now it's $300 now it's $300 to be on the website, but like. Do it. Pay, like if you're really trying to be serious about it, pay the extra fee.
Yeah, I think it's like $15 or something.
$15 to verify, maybe like $20 a month. Yeah, the Diamond
or something. Yeah,
and then you get like the guys whose accounts have been verified, their finances have been verified. So like you're just like not swimming. No, there's always some dude who's like, I just give really good back massages, and like their income is like $250 a year, which is like still really good. I'm not gonna shoot in $250, but like. You're like, no.
Well, and mind you, when you're on the basic of these websites, when you're not paying for it, these men can put anything that they want to put.
Oh, yeah, you could put anything that you want to put. I could put anything I want to put.
Exactly.
Know? Like I could be scheming and scamming too. Like, you know, someone could have got my pictures off the internet, posted it, and then was just like, I'm this girl. Yeah, send
like
me
pay
money.
me $500 before we meet or something like that.
And I've heard stories of like that too.
Oh, yeah.
So it is like definitely like a give and take situation. You know?
It's really, honestly, I mean, this is kind of like, I don't know if this is really great advice to say it. It's hard if you aren't really in a certain type of industry where you're comfortable with it.
Yeah.
To go from straight up working, you know, like a 9-to-5 job to going into being a sugar baby is going to be a complete culture shock.
It is.
And I think a lot of people that are, you know, in this more, I don't want to say normal world because it's not normal for anybody. This world's crazy, but just not in the sex industry, you're gonna be really surprised by what you see and hear. And a lot of people won't make it to whatever their goal is because they're not used to this hypersexualized type of environment.
And you have to be okay with being around men that you're like not necessarily attracted to, men that are older than your dad, men that are older than your fucking granddad.
Right.
Like, I mean, my dad's pretty young, so like I think I've been around more men that are older than my dad than
For
not.
sure, yeah.
You know, so you have to be comfortable within yourself have to be comfortable with that idea.
The public seeing you.
The public seeing you, because that's like the number one thing. When I started, I was in the South, North Carolina, and like, mind you, the first time it was this really short, little, older white man, and then like me. So like everyone knows what it is, and you're gonna get the most like condescending looks. You know what he told me? I'll never forget it. He was like, "I like being looked at because I like being judged." I'm like, "You're a little freak.
You're like, you stay down there. Yeah. You're crazy."
You're wild. I was like, damn, come on, let's go. Let's go get this sushi.
Yeah, let's get it. Like, I'll get you a booster seat.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but, and like I said, it's probably not the ultimate best advice, but as long as you're safe, give it a shot. Mm-hmm. And try it out yourself and just see how you feel, because we could sit here and talk until we're blue in the face about it.
Right.
It's an experience that you have to experience. And if it's for you, then then you can kind of figure out where you go from there. If it's not for you, then feel that gut feeling and say, this is not for me. Right.
And you know what? I think what you were going to say, which I didn't mean to cut you off on, is like, okay. If you're like the lifestyle that you want to live, like, let's say that you want to date or meet somebody who's like, you don't want to go on the sugar baby website, but you want to hang out where kind of like affluent men hang out, right?
Right.
Get dressed up, take yourself to those bars. That's what I used to do too. Like after a certain point, I don't want to be on a website. Right. I take myself, go, and then you're bound to meet somebody there, or just not even meet them, but like also be okay and be comfortable with the guys that are there. Because if you're not comfortable in that space, or you feel like you don't know how to talk to them, or you don't feel like you're like, in that realm, then it's probably not for you.
Right. That's a really good example. Just to kind of be in the setting more than anything, because sugar baby kind of has a bad connotation to it as it is, just that word. Mm-hmm. But think about all these women like that just are already kind of rich. They've been hanging out in Bel Air. They met their rich husband because they were hanging out at rich places.
Well, here's like another thing too. There's no difference between a housewife and a sugar baby. They're both getting their bills paid.
Let's get that straight.
They're just getting your bills paid. Yes, you are going to be a mother, but you're still getting your bills paid.
Right. And that it goes from sugar baby to trophy wife. And Stacey's mom has got it going on. Mm-hmm. So if that's what you want.
I guess I'm a sorry Miss Jackson kind of girl. I'm not a Stacey's mom. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I hope to turn into a Miss Parker one day.
Oh,
damn,
you know
Miss
what?
Parker.
You know what? I mean, you should. You're already so fine. Like you're gonna be way fine. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah.
Find me at all the college parties. I don't even try to be a sugar baby anymore. I'm a sugar daddy now.
Yeah, I'm a brown sugar mama. If you guys are looking, we got some Douce here.
We got only about half a bottle left.
Yeah, if you guys want that PS15 coming out in 2035, we got you.
Those new Jordans.
Yeah, we got you. Come on,
throw it back.
Come on, sit on this lap. Come on, let's go.
I mean, honestly, I hope that does help. In all, we could, like I said, we could joke around. I hope that does help. I mean, it's hard when there's so much to it. Yeah. It really is, but
I think we'll have to like revisit this again. I mean, I have a couple of friends who are still some high-end sugar babies, and if they have any tips or tricks, we'll definitely have to have them on here. I have one friend, but her sugar baby experience is crazy because she's also a dominatrix.
See, and
it's a combo package.
Right. That's the thing. It just can go in so many different directions. It
does. Well, you guys have to send in your comments, your questions, and we'll have to like hit you guys back up. And we'll have to like touch back on that because, being a sugar baby is crazy. I just have a lot of suppressed memories of that.
There's a lot. It's a loaded question. That's
we gotta get another bottle of Douce for that one.
Yeah, exactly. No, we gotta get a bottle of tequila for that one. We could go real in depth. Yes, Casamigos Blanco. Thank you very much.
A shot of Douce. Well, until next time, you guys, stay hustling, my little bunnies, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, guys. See ya.